Welcome to Boring Money, Rich Life. I'm your host, Joy Hicks, and today we're going to talk about your network is your net worth. And I'm sure you guys have heard that plenty of times, but I'm actually learning that is indeed true because you pretty much are the people that you spend the majority of your time around. And not even just like your friends, like what you listen to, what you watch that definitely has an effect on your psyche. And it's very important when you're trying to build wealth because building wealth is a very non-traditional thing. You know, most people are not seeing how they can become rich. Most people go to work, they work their 9 to 5 job, they enjoy Saturday and Sunday on the weekend, and then they do it over and over again for the rest of their life. And that's just not the goal for me. That is really not what I hope to do, or definitely not what I want. And, I've shared that I do not want to just work until I die. I want to enjoy money while I'm here, while I'm young, while my daughter is young. I want to be able to build something now, not just possibly when I'm 70 years old, right? So lately, I have been attending a lot of networking events, and I'm newer to the Dallas area, so I already want to make friends, but I was like, I want to make like-minded friends with people who have a similar mindset. And so I've been going to different networking events, and it was one of the reasons why I made this video is because when you network in the right circles, you can really expose yourself to different people and different resources that you wouldn't have been able to really see on a regular daily basis, right? So I attended this wine and wealth event by Black Women Invest here in Dallas. And at first, I had kind of just seen it on Instagram. I was kind of curious about it, but I was really happy that I went because, for one, it was a super nice event. Like, if you know me, I really like very classy events. But the reason why I really liked it was because the founder, she actually attended the event and she was kind of just sharing kind of what her vision was when she first launched this group. And it was kind of really inspiring for me because I'm looking at where she is, she's years ahead of me, but she has built this really big community of women, and she has chapters here in Texas and all over the US. And it was so inspiring to see her build this community where women can come together and they can talk about money, they can talk about real estate, they can talk about investing strategies, they can have nice events and really build a community around it. And that's definitely what I hope to build in the future. So it was very inspiring to see someone who's actually doing it right now. And then they were also talking about just what they do as a community. So they're not just getting together and drinking. She was telling the group that they get together and they go on what's called real estate tours. And so with these real estate tours, they'll go to different parts of the country where there's a lot of real estate opportunities. So let's say it's an area that's, maybe been stricken with poverty or things like that, and now there's definitely opportunity to kind of rebuild it up. They'll go to these different cities and actually talk to different project managers and talk to different realtors and learn about the area. They teach them about the properties, they invest in these properties. And that's something that I didn't know was something that people do, especially when it comes to real estate, because real estate is one of those things that everybody wants to get in. We all know everybody needs a place to stay. Actually, homelessness is criminalized a lot of times here in the US. And so real estate is one of those things where we know you can build wealth, but sometimes all we really know is, hey, I want to become a real estate agent, or hey, I want to become a landlord, but we don't really understand all of the nuances, all of the deals, all these things that are happening. So the fact that they actually go and kind of tour different properties, they learn about the area, they learn about different investing strategies, and then they actually invest in these properties, I was like, wow, that is great. And they were actually talking about how they even went to Africa and did the same thing. Now, me, I don't think I'm there yet. If I was going to invest outside of the country, I need to be able to be mobile. So, like, I need to know that if something were to happen, I could hop on, a flight. I don't have that mobility just yet, but definitely am interested in doing that here in the US because I could catch a quick, like, red eye somewhere in the US, but like a 20-hour flight, I don't know about that just yet. But again, had I not actually got out and put myself out there, gone to a networking event, I would have never known that there are women actually doing this today, And so that's why, again, your network is really your net worth. Like, it is so important who you have in your life, who you have speaking into your ear. And I am an avid reader. So if you're like, hey, there's nobody in my circle who is trying to get rich, there's nobody in my circle who cares about financial freedom, get very comfortable with reading books. Like me, I will pick up a book like it's nobody's business because you can learn from some of the most wealthiest people in the world without having to talk to them in person. You can understand their thought processes, you can understand their systems, you can understand the advice that they have to share, and literally you can get it for $20 inside of a book. But I just thought it was like a really good experience. And then I actually met a woman there. And so she's currently investing in hotels. And, she was kind of talking to me about that. Like, she was more than happy to share the information with me, share the resources with me. And like I said, this is people who are doing this right now, today. They're already investing in these things. And so sometimes it really just takes us getting out there, getting comfortable with meeting people, getting comfortable with, having a one-to-one conversation with a stranger, really just putting yourself out there. Because the more that you do it, honestly, the more you're exposing yourself and you're like expanding your mind as well. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that every networking event that you go to is going to be an automatic success. Like, I went to one event out here. I actually seen it on Meetup. And I don't feel like Meetup is as big as a thing in Dallas as it was in Colorado. Like in Colorado, if you're in the Denver area, especially, you can go on Meetup, which is an app, and you'll see all these different people hosting these different events. And it's not uncommon to like RSVP that day and then you meet different people. So I was like, okay, I could probably do that here. Well, I went on Meetup and it was supposed to be a similar type of event where we're talking about money and finances and getting together. And then I get there and it is a room full of insurance agents and they're like recruiting people to become a insurance adjuster or agent or whatever. And so definitely was a miss, but like if I would have let that stop me, because that actually happened before I attended this event. It was probably maybe like 3 weeks before. But I said that to say, if I would have let that event kind of like stop me and I would have been like, oh my gosh, that was a waste of time, then I wouldn't have gone to this event. And so you really, again, you just have to put yourself out there. It's not always going to be, the best event. You're not always going to hit gold or whatever. But the more that you do it, the more that you will learn. Now, be careful. Like, don't buy anything if you're not ready to buy anything because, of course, people want to sell you stuff when you come to their events. But you can honestly learn so much for free just by attending and talking to people and, even like I said, reading books. But I just wanted to put that reminder out there that like your network really is your net worth. And it really is so important to kind of meet like minded people. Now, there might be like your childhood friends who you love dearly and maybe they're not on that same page. That's totally fine. But you definitely need to start incorporating other people who have a similar type of mindset because you're kind of going against the current right now. Most people, they want to work a job, they want to enjoy their weekend, and then they do it all over again. So we're kind of swimming upstream saying, hey, no, this is not what we want. Like, we want financial freedom. And so having people who understand, like, hey, I know you have the money, but hey, we don't necessarily have to spend it all the time. Like, come over to the house. We don't have to go out all the time. Having those types of people who can kind of like come alongside you in the goals that you're building, it makes it so much easier. And then it just makes the experience so much more enjoyable because discipline can definitely be a lonely path. It really can. Because again, if all of your friends are going out every weekend and they're buying drinks or they're going to the bar or all these different things, right? It can be hard to be the one who's like, dang, I don't really want to go, you know? So, all things in moderation. But again, it gets to be a lot easier when you actually start building those communities. And this did show me that, like, me personally, I need to reprioritize my spending because they were like, okay, yeah, we do have chapters. So they have like two chapters in my area. And then, like I said, they have chapters all over the country as well. And the chapter, I think, was only like $40 a month. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, what am I going to get? Do I really want to pay this? Da, 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 da. And it's literally like a mindset shift, right? Because we're used to spending, but we're used to spending money on things that bring instant gratification. So, spending money on a community about financial literacy where it's like, oh my gosh, there's no instant gratification. If anything, it's instant pain because it's discipline. It's going to teach me where I need to grow. It's going to teach me where I need to focus within my finances. So it's not like the funnest thing. But again, we're here to build our rich life. We're here to, build wealth. So it's important that we prioritize those things, like putting into place the ability to actually have some wealth building strategies. So, as always, what is one boring thing that you can do today to start fueling your rich life? Again, I'm Joy Hicks, your host. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.